What's up, Rupert here. In this video, I want to break down this idea and explore this idea of selfishness versus selflessness. And, you know, in our culture, in most postmodern green heart-based circles, the idea or the priority is to be selfless. And I actually think this is the wrong way of looking at the world and perceiving the world. And when I say wrong, as in it's not true and correct, and because it's not true and correct, we don't get the best results that we might hopefully want. Now, what does that mean? Okay, well, actually, from a biological sense, I am an individual organism. And so everything that I do is to satisfy the needs of this individual organism. So actually, everything that I do, you can argue, is selfish in nature. There's, at the core, there's a selfish motivation. So even if you're going to Africa to feed the starving kids, and you're doing it for all these selfless reasons, if we get back to the core of it, you're actually doing it to feel good about yourself, to alleviate some sort of guilt that you might have from the privilege that you have in your Western life. So we can then, if we assume that this is the correct way, just assume for a second that this is the correct and true way to look at things, everything can be reduced back to a selfish motivation. So then we can be honest about that selfish motivation, right? So look at me, I'm got grounded permaculture going on, I'm looking after gardens, looking after land, regenerating land, growing food, building community. That may appear to be selfless, but actually at its core, I'm doing it for selfish reasons, right? I'm doing it because I personally need to be on land and satisfying some sort of ancestral primal urge to be like caretaking, connected to the land, where I don't have any separation between work and home and living, right? Like most people are just have their home for living, then they go to work and they're doing something that they don't really necessarily want to do. And it's all separate, right? For me, it's really important to have that all integrated. So I figured out a way to have that integrated. But the key thing is, right, in looking at this way of viewing the world, everything that we do has a selfish motivation, and being honest about that selfish motivation, the real magic happens when we can expand that sense of self. Okay, so a selfish me with very short-term thinking, very small in time and space, might think it's a good idea to go and blow all my money on cocaine and hookers this weekend. But myself in 2 weeks will probably regret that, and I might burn a few friendships in the process. So if I can expand my sense of self to include all of the people around me, my friends and my family, and even like all living things around me in space, I'm expanding that sense of self, but I'm also expanding the sense of self over time, right? And I'm expanding this idea of self across time, out 5, 10, 15, 20 years, even like my descendants. And so then if I can orientate myself to be all expanding in space and in time, then I can act for selfish reasons in the most noble and highest way possible. Anyway, it's just a little flip on reframing this idea of selfish versus selflessness and being honest about how we operate in this world. If you got some value out of this video, drop a comment, like, subscribe. If you think I'm totally off the money, tell me I'm wrong in the comments. Anyway, love to hear what you think about it. Peace.